I'm gonna be serious here for a minute. I want to talk about bits, and you're probably not going to like what I have to say. Maybe you will. Probably not. um, Here's the thing. If I put you in a wrist lock, that's a supinated wrist lock, like Gyaku Gote from Shrinji Kempo, I throw you in that wrist lock, you're going to go wherever I want you to go, whenever I want you to go there. Because if you resist, you're going to experience a great deal of pain. As long as you go along, it's not so bad. But if you don't keep up, if you put any resistance, you're going to do it to yourself. It's not my fault. I'm not hurting you. I'm not inflicting pain on you. You're doing it to yourself. Yeah. So if I put you into a wrist lock, you'll go where I want you to go. You'll do what I want you to do. But we're not partners. And we're not friends. So, bits. I'm embarrassed to say that I did not go with my gut. Because from the very beginning, my gut said there's something about putting a bit in a horse's mouth that just isn't right. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. And the fact that you have to sort of find a way to get it in there. I should have listened to my gut. I didn't. So I worked with some people for a while that used various kinds of bits. And I put a bit in Kelsey's mouth, for which I apologized many times later. That's one of the things that they all have in common. All these experts, Western or English or dressage, they all love bits. They all talk about bits. And what horses are good at is knowing what happens before what happens. What human beings are good at is rationalizing shit that they do so that they can feel good when they do wrong. And all this stuff, I said, when I raised questions about bits, I got answers like, well, this is what everybody does, or we've always done it this way, and answers that to my ear sounded like, that's bullshit. Those are logical fallacies, my man. And they would sometimes talk about how the horse likes this bit, or look, he's chewing on it, he likes it, he likes this bit. And I got to go down a side road here for a second. When I was a kid, there was a guy who was widely known for beating on his wife. And he would say things like, she likes being slapped around a little. She likes to know where the boundaries are. It shows I love her, and all this kind of stuff. So when I heard these people talking about how horses like the bit so much, to my ear, it sounded just like this son of a bitch talking about how his wife likes being slapped around, So at one point I said, look, man, if horses like bits so much, why don't we see wild horses out there running around with sticks jammed up their mouth if they like that? How come they don't do that for themselves? How come they haven't worked out a way to do that? Why don't we see horses running with their mouths open, carrying something, rather than with their mouth closed? Anyway, it finally got to a point where I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It was wrong. It felt wrong to me. I finally listened to my gut. And as if by magic, as soon as I made that decision, I found out about the bitless bridle, Dr. Cook's bitless bridle. So I got one of those. And I put that on Kelsey. And as soon as I did that, a whole host of problems disappeared. He used to be quite a head tosser. He stopped doing that. Fidgeting, nervousness, I mean, just all kinds of stuff that made him difficult to handle, from my point of view. Took the bit out of his mouth, used this bit-free bridle. All that disappeared immediately, like immediately. Bits work by coercion. They work by pain. And anybody who tells you anything about having soft hands or gentle hands or this is an easy bit, they're full of shit. I mean, they work one way. That is, it makes the horse, it inflicts pain on the horse if he doesn't cooperate. That's how it works. And I don't want that. I don't want forced compliance. I don't want coerced obedience. Who wants that? I wanted joyful, enthusiastic, voluntary participation. You know? I don't put a bit on a horse for the same reason I don't put handcuffs on a date. I want joyful, enthusiastic, voluntary participation. Because anything else feels like shit. But, as I said, the thing that people are good at is rationalizing what they do so they can feel good about doing something even when what they're doing is really, really bad. Anyway, that's my bit about bits.